It's October 24th and the strange side of history awaits. Today we have a daring plunge, a deadly eruption, and a queen's final breath. Let's begin. On October 24th, 1901, an aging schoolteacher stood at the edge of the roaring Niagara Falls, clutching a heavy oak and iron barrel large enough for a person to fit inside. Her name was Anna Edson Taylor. She was 63 years old, alone and desperate. Years of hard work had left her with little money and no legacy, so she devised a plan that sounded more like a death wish: to seal herself inside the barrel and plunge straight into the abyss. Inside, she packed only a few cushions and, some say, her cat, as if either could soften the blow of nature itself. The crowd on the shores watched in silence as the barrel drifted towards the edge, spinning faster and faster, then vanished into the mist. Minutes later, the impossible had happened. The barrel bobbed to the surface, and against all odds, Anne was alive, bruised, shaken, but breathing. She became famous overnight, yet her fame faded just as quickly. She died a poor, forgotten woman who tempted death and won, only to lose everything. Some chase infamy, the thrill of being the first, but fame is fleeting, and Anne sadly faded away into obscurity. On October 24th, 1902, the earth beneath Guatemala began to whisper. For centuries, the Santa Maria volcano had slept. Its slopes green and peaceful, villages scattered across its base. Locals called it harmless, a mountain long since dead. But that morning, the whisper became a roar. The ground cracked open, birds fled, and the mountain exploded. A pillar of fire and ash tore into the sky, climbing 20 miles high. The daylight vanished, replaced by choking darkness. Ash rained down for days, blanketing the land in silence. Roofs collapsed under its weight, rivers turned to mud, and entire regions disappeared beneath the gray. Witnesses said that lightning danced inside black clouds. Flashes revealed the faces of terror, frozen in mid-flight. Thousands were swallowed by the eruption's fury, entire villages erased from the map. When it was finally over, Guatemala was unrecognizable. The volcano that had slept for 500 years had awakened, and it left behind a scar the world would never forget. For years they thought the mountain was dead. When it finally woke up, it reminded everyone who really runs this planet. And spoilers, it's not us. On October 24th, 1537, the halls of Hampton Court fell silent. Jane Seymour, beloved third wife of King Henry VIII, had just given England its long-awaited heir, Prince Edward. But joy in the royal palace would soon curdle into grief. For 12 days, Jane had lingered between life and death, pale and fevered, her chambers filled with the scent of blood and candle wax. Courtiers whispered prayers outside her door, while Henry, the man who had cast aside 2 queens before her, waited helplessly for the word. They said she smiled weakly when she heard her son's name, then closed her eyes one final time. The heir had lived, but the mother was gone. Her death changed the king forever. He ordered her to be buried in white, and years later, when death came for him, he demanded to rest beside her. A son for a kingdom, a life for a crown. In the end, Jane gave Henry everything. Henry called her his true love, probably because she was the only one that gave him the son he truly pined for. Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next eerie dose is just one day away.